You're in Braves country. Good afternoon, good evening, y'all. There is a slight delay, but it looks like that they're getting the field ready right now as we speak, so it shouldn't be long at all. Give me a second. I'm going to gather some notes. We're going to talk about what's been going on the last 24 hours here in Major League Baseball, man. It's really starting to churn up. All right, y'all, welcome in. And we're hoping to get this game started here in a little bit. I mean, we're not going to hang on forever if they don't get the game started, though it does look like they're about to. We won't keep you out here all night waiting for a game. Realistically, I mean, we're not here for the game. We're here to root on Ronald Acuna Jr. We don't care that much about the actual outcome. So let's assume that they're going to start here in the next few minutes. I can see them working in the background on the grounds crew, and there are fans coming into the actual stands now. So all that points to the signs that, unless this is pre-recorded, all points to the signs that they are ready to go. And you got the folks in the booth talking to the folks on the field kind of thing as we're getting ready for first pitch. I put that picture up on the screen because I thought you might be interested in where this stadium is. Now that blue dot, it's not actually, it's a little north of that. It actually, the stadium actually sits on the coast. There's not rain actually happening right now. It is wet ground, so they're just trying to dry the grounds and then they'll get going. And they've done a pretty good job about all that kind of stuff. I've been reading up on it this past week. They really coordinate well with Major League Baseball and the teams that are lending their players out. So they do take the safety of the players very seriously. So we're waiting on that to unfold, and we'll bring you pitch-by-pitch, play-by-play of your Atlanta Braves. Nope, not your Atlanta Braves. Your Sharks. And the name is about as long as your arm, so we're just going to call them the Sharks. I had to laugh because I was writing out the lineups, and the team that the Sharks are playing, in English, their team is the Tigers. So the Tigers versus the Sharks. And I'm writing out their lineup, and they have two Rodriguez's back-to-back, and they have three Rodriguez's all together in the lineup. They also have two Hernandez's. So very common last names down there, as we all know. But I was like, man, there's just you're just going to hear shortstop, and everybody's spot on the field because it's going to confuse the hell out of you with everybody's name being so similar. Last week in the game, we had two guys had the same last name, and their first name was only off by one letter, so it became really confusing. Ronald Acuna Jr. is batting third in the lineup tonight, and he is in right field, in case you're wondering about that. And it looks like we're getting the players starting to stretch out. They're on the field. We're getting the warm-up tosses, so that is definitely a good sign as we start to bring into the fold. Let me see if we can get this going right for you today. So let's go ahead and take that off there. So you see how far south the stadium is from Atlanta, Georgia, but when you compare it to where they could be playing these games, because these stadiums are all over the damn place below the United States, and of course we cover other games in other countries as well. When you put it all together, it's relatively close. I mean, you're talking about just south of Cuba, and I was curious about this, so I looked it up, and then I made the little map there. I wanted to know how the crow flies, where is it on the map, and like I said, that blue dot that you were showing, it's actually a little further north because it actually sits on the coast. And if you take this off, let me see if I've got this set up correctly. I believe I do. You take this off real quick. You see the picture of the stadium. I cleaned it up a little bit because I wanted to be a little more vibrant, but that is the picture of the stadium at daytime. That is during the actual day itself when the sun time. the one I'm about to put on the screen is a little more indicative of what it looks like right now as the sun is about to set. And there you have that. The sun's actually almost set at the stadium, so we're going to change it to dark here in a second. I wanted to give you an idea of what the stadium looked like. You got the Ferris wheel in the background. There's I believe this picture shows it a little better, but there's the highway that runs right by the stadium. Really pretty stadium. And so there we go. So we'll go ahead and put the actual game information there up on the screen. If you haven't already, please smash that like. And we'll be set for pitch-by-pitch, play-by-play of the Sharks versus the Tigers in the Venezuelan LVBP Baseball League. Big news that happened today. If you're just kind of getting back into the fold of what's going on in the world of baseball, good to see you pushing buttons, and Gary, and we got Charlie, and let's see, we got PETA. We've got, who else do we have? I thought I saw a couple. I think I saw Robert in here a second ago. Jeep Bastard. Who is Jeep Bastard? It's James Fisher. Okay. And I don't know who Jag R81 is, but yes, Pete Alonso goes to the Orioles today, so that was the big news. I don't recognize the profile picture. Some of them I can figure out if the profile picture hasn't changed too many times, but I'm not going to worry about it. I looked into this nonsense of what they're doing. This is somewhat permanent on YouTube across the board. They're trying it out and giving feedback. So get any kind of questionnaire or anything like that asking you about it, and YouTube may email you something. Tell them how you feel, because I don't think it's very popular. I found out the reasoning why. Oh, that's Ian? Okay. I won't remember that. My best advice would be for everybody is that go create an email that you can put onto your YouTube that you want representing some kind of a nickname for you. Like that's the only option, realistically. Because you can change your email on your YouTube, and if you want to change it to whatever, like let's say Uncle Charlie just wants to put an Uncle Charlie whatever on there, that to me would be the best fix. But what it looks like right now is they're doing it, and the stupid reason why they're doing it is they're saying so that when creators can tag someone in a chat, because like somebody could come in and both say that their nickname is Teddy Bear, right? There could be multiple teddy bears, and this way it would be Teddy Bear 222 because that's their email. That's the stupidest reason, and I don't buy it. I don't buy that that's the reason, because I don't know many creators that really care that much about it, and it's really dumb. But anyways, looks like they're just about set. It is nighttime. Acuna is stretching right now, so we're seeing Ronald Acuna Jr. on the field. He's got the high socks. They're wearing their, I believe these are the road grays. Or actually, they should be at home. So the gray, I'm calling it gray, but it may just be their poor camera filter. So what I remember last week is it was a bright white jersey. These look a little more of an off-white. Maybe it's a different jersey. Maybe it's just the cameras. But for all intents and purposes, off-white jersey, off-white pants, blue belts, blue socks, blue ball cap, red bill, and there's a white tee across the front, looking like very much like a Texas Ranger type of ball cap. And this stadium is very close to where he grew up at. It sits on the coast. We showed you the picture earlier of what it looks like, and if it wasn't for the fact that you hear so many nightmares about what goes down in Venezuela and the crime issues they have, that is a beautiful stadium, and who the hell wouldn't want to go to that? But I don't see a ton of people in the stands in any of these games. I watch them in the background because I'm trying to just get kind of getting familiar with what they do. because if we get enough interest next year, we would do more of these games. But if it ends up being just kind of a fizzle, then I'm not going to worry too much about it. We'll just bring you games, once or twice a week. Looking forward next week, it's actually going to be a Thursday night game. My wife's birthday, we're celebrating it along with my sister's birthday when the game would take place next week that we normally bring you. So instead, what we're going to do is I'm going to bring you the Thursday night game. It starts at 6. And as long as it's competitive, people are watching, we'll go as long as we can. But it is going up against Thursday Night Football, so that's a little bit of an issue. The following week, we'll see if they what times they come up with, but they're not playing right before Christmas and Christmas Eve, which is right in the middle of the week. So I don't know what game we're going to do. The week that follows after that is when they go into the Caribbean series. So just kind of playing that by ear. If you haven't paid attention to our schedule, this Saturday, 3 o'clock Eastern, we're going to give you Army-Navy, and that is 3 o'clock. We'll come on the air at 2 o'clock because there's actually an Army-Navy historic podcast that we're going to play right before it is the pregame. And then the following Friday, I'm sure Brian will be happy about this. I got a lot of requests for it in Radio Land. We're going to bring you Bama, Oklahoma first round of the playoffs. That's the only game we're going to do in that first round because the other ones, honestly, are just stinkers. They've got Miami, Texas A&M on Saturday. If that game was a night game, we'd probably do that game. But no one's sitting around watching this nonsense at noon, and then they have these just blowouts that they're going to be playing on that second day of the playoffs. The 3:30 game is Ole Miss and Tulane, and then the 8 o'clock game is James Madison. Who the hell wants to say? Anyways, I'm not wasting my time sitting around with that crap. So that's what the college football playoffs. I told you we might bring you a game. We got a lot of requests for either the Miami or the Bama game. We went with the Bama game just because of who they're playing, Bama and Oklahoma. I just think it's a bigger draw than Texas A&M versus Miami. But we will put a chat up on the Armchair channel just so you know that. As we're getting ready for I'd say first pitch is coming up right around the corner. They showed the players out there stretching and running on the field, so they look like they're just about set. We're just waiting for first pitch if you're just joining us. Good to see you, John. Yeah, the college football playoffs, there's a number of reasons why they got to fix them, but they got to fix them. We'll talk about it on Armchair Show tomorrow, but it's a nightmare. And I'm not. It's everybody's answer is, well, don't put as many teams in. I'm saying the opposite. Put more teams in and put some competitive matchups up against each other. You're going to get a couple of bozo games, but that's fine. Stack them on top of each other, kind of like the way they do the March Madness. And if one turns close, you'll have whoever, I guess it would be ABC or ESPN, that would just go to that game and say, hey, this is what we have developing. Let's go to that. But to have these standalone games and you're going to have a Tulane and a James Madison in it doesn't make any sense. And they got to fix that. The easy fix would have been to take the highest ranked ACC team, and so Miami would have played Virginia, and then whoever won that should be an automatic bid. People know those brands. You let the one non-Power 4 in, that's fine, which would have been, Tulane. And then the other team that would have been left in, would have been brought in, would have been Notre Dame. That would have been much better matchups. If you would have had Notre Dame playing any of those teams on that Saturday, more people are going to tune in. But anyways, we're just kind of killing time here waiting for first pitch. I do see the starting pitcher starting to unwind, and he is making his way towards the mound. It looks like the players are out on the field taking a little bit of catch in the background, running drills, that kind of thing. So they're just about set to play. We're just waiting on that. But let's get into the news of Major League Baseball, because let's be honest, this is a baseball channel over anything else. Pete Alonso. How about that? I saw that he was meeting with Baltimore. We mentioned on the show the other day. I just didn't think that was a real thing. I just thought, because you see these teams always pop up and they'll say, it's usually the Tampa Bay Rays. Tampa Bay Rays are meeting with Shohei Ohtani and we expect that to be, and then, they're nowhere near the number. But Baltimore went all in. They went 5 years, $155 million. They actually outbid their payment was higher than Kyle Schwarber is what I'm trying to say. Schwarber was 5 for $150. Alonso 5 for $155, and you may say, well, Alonso can play position. I mean, can he? He's a terrible first baseman. So I don't know if I buy into that at all. But with that being said, they are going to bring him in. If you think about what's happened to the Mets, I mean, we've got a little bit of a mess here for the Mets, because not only did Pete Alonso leave, but also you've got Edwin Diaz leaving the day before. So their closer, their top home run hitter are gone. So I don't know where they're going to pivot, what their game plan is, but they were not willing to pay Alonso. This has been a running theme with Alonso, and I don't really understand why, but this has been a running theme with Alonso over the last couple of years. They simply just do not want anything to do with him long term. They signed him last year as I think it was a 3-year deal, but it was a fairly cheap 3-year deal with the 1-year opt-out, and that's what he did. He opted out. And when it's all said and done, we're back to the same story, and they didn't show any interest. And it's really strange. Now, maybe they've got a trick up their sleeve. Maybe they're going to go get someone. You still have a couple of big names left out there on the market. But, I mean, honest engine, how do you navigate that knowing? And I know that they signed Devin Williams. Devin Williams is not Edwin Diaz. It's not even remotely close. But if you're just kind of getting back into the fold, want to know what happened over the last couple of days, Alonso, 5-year, $155 million, goes to the Orioles. Pittsburgh Pirates signed left-handed reliever Gregory Soto to a 1-year, $7 million deal. Edwin Diaz, once again, 3-year. That ended up being $69 to the Dodgers. Kyle Schwarber to the Phillies. We already talked about that. I'm telling you, man, the Angels have become the West Coast Braves. Did y'all see this? Did y'all see the trade that the Angels made? I think it flew under the radar because it's on nobody's radar anywhere. The Boston Red Sox traded Vaughn Grissom to the Los Angeles Angels, and that happened late. I guess that was last night. And Steven Matz to the Rays. I think we failed to mention that one on the show yesterday. That's actually a pretty good deal for the Rays. I mean, there's a 2-year deal. I think I saw that it was $7.5 million. They are introducing the starting pitchers on the screen now, so we should be pretty close. It's Pardinho versus Mejias. So we should be ready for the game here. Mike Soroka signed with the Diamondbacks. I did post that here on our page. If you're not in the habit of doing so, make sure to check our posts on the page. I try to keep it up to date when I can. I didn't get a chance to do the Alonso one today because I was stuck at work, and by the time I realized what time it was, I was like, we're about to start the show here in about an hour or so. I might as well just bring it up then. Jose Ferrer. This was kind of a big deal. People who may not be familiar with him. Harry Ford, who is one of the top catching prospects in all of Major League Baseball, Seattle Mariners, he is sent to the Washington Nationals. So we're going to have to deal with him in the division. Why was he sent? Well, they got someone by the name of Cal Raleigh, I think they're good at catcher for the foreseeable future. And he's a really good player. But what they did was they got the left-handed reliever Jose Ferrer from Washington, and that's just going to make their bullpen even nastier. So the Mariner fans have got to be excited about that. I know a lot of Mariner fans probably don't love the idea of giving up Harry Ford, but to get something, you got to give something. Johan Oviedo of the Pittsburgh Pirates. He was sent to Boston last week, in case you missed that 5-player trade. And now these are getting a little older that most people should know. Cedric Mullins went to the Rays, 1-year deal. Emilio Pajan, the free agent closer, has agreed to a 2-year, $20 million deal. And they're doing their national anthem, so we should be set here any moment for pitch-by-pitch, play-by-play. I do not have a version for their national anthem. If I can find the one that we used to use, that was solo by itself, I'll play it for us, but I don't see it on the chart. I think I have to download it, and that's gonna, by the time I do that, the game started. We originally were going to do the normal video, and then we got the delay, and there's no way for us to know how long these delays are, because no one is posting that kind of stuff in English. Because we've looked, trust me, we've looked. Let me see here. So I think that's about it, other than the much older moves that have been talked about. I do have MLB Network on in the background, so if any news breaks, we'll bring it to you. They are at the winter meetings. There's all this talk and all this stuff about the moves that they're expecting Anthopoulos to make. The only thing I'll say to that is they told us that same stuff last year. Told us the same stuff last year. We didn't get anything. I do believe there's going to be more movement this year because they have the financial flexibility, but I'm not going to sit at the edge of my seat like I did last year, waiting, and we were damn near into spring training before they even signed what they did sign. And then it felt like a huge waste because Profar gets busted for PEDs. Good to see you, BA. I don't know how long you've been in the chat, but I don't know if you saw it or not, but we are going to be doing the Bama-Oklahoma game in the playoffs. So, Rotad. That's spelled R-O-W-T-A-D. Just about set here, waiting for the first pitch. They did the national anthem, so we're just about ready to go. Y'all got any questions or comments, fire them away. We do these games. I try to bring you the game, but then there's more of the chat is really more about what's going on in Major League Baseball, because I'm not going to sit here and try to fake it and pretend like I'm some kind of expert in Venezuelan baseball. We're just here for Ronald Acuna Jr. We also thought it's a good time to catch up and hang out, enjoy some baseball, but also hope a dream scenario would be something would break during the ball game and we could talk about that. Some of these guys, their names are such jumbled messes. We're going to be hearing a lot of nicknames and initials, because I don't want to butcher the hell out of couple of these names. And then the other ones, I'm going to go by the first name, because, for instance, the Tigers have 3 guys with the last name of Rodriguez. So Kieber's at short, David is at first, and the catcher, Yorman, is behind the plate. So to sit there and tell you which Rodriguez it is each plays, you're going to end up getting lost in. It's going to get lost in translation a little bit. It does look like we're just about set, so we're waiting for the first pitch to be fired. Speaking of firing college football fans, y'all see the out of nowhere, the head coach of Michigan got canned tonight for cause. And they're saying that he had some kind of an affair with someone who was on the staff. I don't know if that meant the coaching staff or if that just meant on the, because these college staffs are enormous. So that very well, it's crazy because when they first broke the news, I was watching the show that comes out of Vegas, and he's. I see your question, Jeep. He is the infield coach. I guess he's going to be the bench coach as well for San Francisco. It's a good landing spot for him. San Francisco's been rumored in a lot of these moves. So we'll see how all that plays out. But yeah, he got canned by the Angels. And I don't know what the reasoning was, but the Braves did not bring him back. And maybe he didn't want to leave California. He just gotten out there and he's had the health problems. So that very well could be. All right, we're just about set for pitch by pitch. My video is always just a touch behind. But yes, sir, it is baseball time in Venezuela. First pitch on the way. It's right there for a strike, right across the chest. It's 0-1. Righty-righty matchup. The 0-1. Inside, check swing, goes around. It's 0-2. So an 0-2 count. Pitcher comes set, kicks and fires. Swing, chops it over to third, and that's going to be an easy 5-3 put out. Escobar to Castellanos. One away. Ronald Acuna Jr. in right field tonight for the Sharks. Left to right across your outfield tonight, it's Montano, Toshi, and Acuna. Around the horn, you got Escobar, Arias, the Cleveland Guardian, if Aswas is in here or not, and JQ at second, Castellanos at first, and Tellis behind the plate. First pitch misses for a ball. It's 1-0. Righty-righty matchup. The 1-0 brings it right there. P at the knees. 1-1. So 1-1 count. I'll tell you what. I'm glad I don't have to call these games from this. the video that I'm seeing here, they keep flashing things across the screen. It's worse than a NASCAR. The 1-1 pitch swung on. That ball is chopped through the hole, and that's going to be a one-out single for the Tigers. They have all kinds of banners and they keep flashing all over the place. Really is crazy. Hard chopper right through the hole. This must be being carried by their hometown broadcast because we didn't see this when the Sharks were at home. First pitch on the way, high and inside. David Rodriguez. It's 1-0. Runner at first. 1-0. Kicks and fires right there, drops one. Out there on the outer edge, 1-1. So a 1-1 count. That might look a little better. better screen for you. 1-1 inside, runner goes, throws up the line, and the throw would have gotten him, but second baseman JQ could not hold on to the ball. It rolls into the outfield, but the runner will stay put, and it'll be a stolen base for Rodriguez and the Tigers. Some good hustle up the line. Runner in scoring position. 2-1 count. Pitch on the way is right there at the knees. Just misses. It's ball 3-1. We thought about creating our own chant. Maybe I'll work on it this week a bit. But I ran it through the ringer to see if we would get banged, and it got banged. I wanted to use the baby shark for any kind of a rally. So we'll continue to do the tomahawk chop when the Sharks make a play. 3-1 hits the outer edge. It's full count. So full count. Kicks and fires. Swings, slaps it towards right field, and that ball's going to drop for a base hit, and the runner will come around. As the throw comes in, Acuna scoops it up, but you got kind of a wet field out there pregame, so the ball's not moving very quickly at all. He had no chance of making the play, and it's 1-0 Tigers. Not a hard hit ball, just off the edge of the bat. So 1-0 your score. Runner at first, one out. Here's the pitch. Right there for a strike. It's 0-1. Caribbean Series hits in the first week of January. I think the first games we call are on the second, and it comes at you at lightning speed as the 0-1 pitch. Swung on, lifted, dropped into right field. Acuna's on it, and it's going to drop just in front of him. And it'll be another single, and they've got runners on first and second, still just one out. So I think that gives y'all the best look as far as seeing not just the strike zone, but also the where everybody is on base and the guys at the plate. And like I said, I'm going to be a couple of pitches behind. I think we eventually caught up to it, but there's nothing I can do about it. First pitch on the way is right there. P at the knees. Did not get the call. Man, that was a bad call. It's 1-0. May have been a little bit on the inside track, but it definitely hit the zone. 1-0. Kicks and fires. Swung on and slapped back foul. It's 1-1. What you're seeing on your screen, too, I have noticed it's not very accurate. The first pitch that you see up top for a ball on this batter, it was nowhere near his letters like you're seeing inside on the letters. It was really downstairs. And it was in there on the zone. The 1-1 count. Drops what looked like a splitter. Ball 2-1. They don't give the information on the screen, so I'm just kind of guessing off of what I've read on these guys' deliveries. But Arias, by the way, is right behind the second base bag as the 1-1 right there for a strike. Or 2-1 right there first. Down and in. Ball 3-1. So a 3-1 count. Here's the windup. Here's the pitch. Swing, chops it. Over to second. It's going to be a 4-6-3 inning-ending rally-killing double play. So they get one on the board, but when we return, Ronald Acuna Jr. and those baby Sharks coming to the plate when we come back.
I will not put my phone number on this paperwork at the school. They text me about every assignment due, and I don't give a because I don't care if them kids fail. They can repeat the 7th grade 15 times. I don't give a damn. They'll be the tallest one in there.
I'm sorry. Are you insane? I'm like the most humble person ever. I won this in 1995, most humble person in Seattle. Then I won this one in 2000, most humble person in Washington. This one, most humble person in the Pacific Northwest. Got this in 2010. And then this one, I got this year. Most humble person in the universe, hands down. You are the best ever. You're so pretty and so smart, and people are lucky just to breathe your same air. So, the critics have spoken. I am both pretty and smart and humble. So take it back!
It's the 9 greatest left fielders. To qualify, player had to have had a minimum of 900 games in left field, starting with number 9.
His nickname was Rock.
Here's the Rock.
Because he's built like a rock.
Look at the play by Rock. Boy, Tim Raines been throwing some leather.
And once Tim settled into left field, his career took off.
It'll be a straight steal for Raines.
Tim started his career with 27 straight steals and set an NL rookie record with 71.
And he's in there.
But this was just the first of 6 consecutive seasons in which Raines would swipe at least 70 bases.
High drive into deep left field. Would you believe a grand slam for Tim Raines?
He had power. He had speed. He could hit for average.
Tim hit .320 or better 3 straight years for the Expos and won a batting title in '86 with a .334 average.
I did not mean to push all of your buttons. I was just looking for the mute.
Welcome back. First pitch on the way to start the innings, to start the game for the Sharks. Is swung on, and that ball is ripped into right field. That's down for a base hit, and it's a leadoff single for the Sharks. Ronald Acuna Jr. standing on deck. First pitch on the way to the number 2 hitter in the lineup. He's right there for a strike. To Escobar, the third baseman for the Sharks. It's 0-1. Time is called behind home plate. Blues, I'm not sure what he's doing. There must be some kind of a distraction that he's motioning back there, so we'll see what happens here. So back to work here. The 0-1 pitch, swung on. That ball is sliced over towards first base. Good diving stop. It's going to be a close play at first, and he barely got him. Great diving stab over there by David. He had to dive foot first into the bag as he was trying to beat out the speedy Escobar. And the runner makes it down to second base, and there is one out with Ronald Acuna Jr. coming to the plate. The runner was going on the play. I don't think he caught it on the fly. Okay, no, he didn't. I thought that was a one hopper. They immediately had initially put on the screen that I'm looking at that there were 2 outs and nobody on, but no, it was a one hopper. First pitch on the way to Ronald Acuna Jr. is a bender off the plate. It's 1-0. My understanding, they just have not been pitching to Acuna all year long. See if he gets any kind of pitches to hit here. Acuna batting now .310, so he's kind of taken a dip since the last time we've seen him. 1-0, right there at the knees. This is for a ball, I guess. 2-0. Starting pitcher for the starting pitcher for the Tigers did not like it. They do not hide their emotion. If you could see through his cap, he was rolling his eyes through it. The 2-0 pitch. Swing! That ball's belted high and deep. Going back on the track. It'll be caught at the wall. Hard line drive by Ronald Acuna Jr. And there's 2 away. Runner at second retreats. Man, he smoked that ball just right into the teeth of the defense. Brian, I would think there's got to be some kind of a Bama Brave thing that you could come up with on your emails. I don't know. Chopping tide? I don't know. Right? It's pretty easy to get creative on that and just see what's available. First pitch on the way, swung on. That ball is hammered by Arias. That ball's going back on the track. Zip, boom, bam, it's gone! Rama-lama ding-dong, a 2-run shot. And Ronald Acuna's Sharks have taken a 1-run lead. That ball was hit to dead center. Cleveland Guardians shortstop Gabriel Arias, we saw last week, but I believe he was the designated hitter. He's got a great glove, so we might get some of that tonight too. But, man, he hit that thing, smacked it over the center field wall. That's something you definitely don't see in Major League Baseball. So they have the first pitch on the way is outside wide righty-lefty matchup. It's 1-0. Montano, the batter, 2 down, 2-1 your score, bottom of the first. 1-0 outside wide, misses the zone ball 2-0. I think it might be the camera crew, but they are sitting in what they call the batter's eye, so it's painted black, right? So they can pick up the ball, but you never see anybody sitting out there. They're sitting out there with the black clothing and some version of a large umbrella, and I think that's what they're doing. I think they're the ones bringing the game to you on the video. The 3-0 pitch is right there at the knees, 3-1. That ball that it was hit by Arias went over their head and over the right shoulder, probably, I don't know, 6-7 rows. You never see anybody sitting in that area in Major League Baseball at the 3-1. Swing and a miss, it's 3-2. So a full count. Payoff pitch. Outside wide, ball 4. So he'll head on down to first. The Chopping Sharks lead it 2-1 if you're just joining us. Righty-righty matchup. Pedro Castellanos is the batter. First pitch on the way. Swing, rips it up the middle. That's through for a base hit. A worm burner. And they'll play station to station. Runners on the corner. Runners on first and second. 2 outs. and the inning keeps going. Quick powwow out there on the mound as the pitching coach comes out there to talk to his starting pitcher tonight as Solarte is coming to the plate. Solarte, the number 7 hitter. We're here in the first inning. It's 2-1 Sharks over the Tigers. Everybody will go back behind to their respective spots, and you can tell I believe that's the pitching coach, but he's giving an earful to the home plate umpire. Well, what has been y'all's biggest surprise in this free agent market so far? I think mine is the Pete Alonso to the Orioles. First pitch on the way is a check swing down below, loses the ball, can't find it, and the runners will stay put. The ball was so close to the catcher, it rolled maybe 5 feet out in front of him, in front of home plate. He was spinning around, couldn't find the ball, and eventually everybody was able to direct him to where the ball was, and they kept put. The 1-0 pitch is swung on, chopped foul. It's 1-1. 1-1 count. Yeah, Diaz. I don't think Alonso really shocked me that he left. It was the fact that he went to the Orioles. It has just felt like, whoa, that pitch right there is into the dirt, goes ricocheting all the way to the backstop, and we've got runners on second and third now with 2 outs. Ball must have banged off a home plate. No, it was a hard ball into the dirt. Heck, that was 5 inches out in front of home plate, and he spiked it. It's almost like he was trying to get it past the backstop back there. Schwarber, the Pirates, that's kind of like what I was talking about earlier, where you always see these reports that teams have interest, but they're not serious. I don't know if y'all remember, but when Freddie Freeman became a free agent, he is the 3-1 pitch right there for a strike. Foul tip. It's full count. The Tampa Bay Rays were rumored to be in on Freddie Freeman. And it came out later that, no, they weren't. He had no desire. They were trying to give him like 3 years, I don't know, $100 million or something like that, as the payoff pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3, and that'll end the inning. But not before. Acuna Sharks take a 2-1 lead. We'll head to the second inning here in Venezuelan baseball.
But China's stealing your data. I don't care. I would drop ship my DNA to the front door of the Chinese Communist Party before I watch an Instagram reel.
What's the difference between a pickpocket and a peeping Tom?
Pickpocket and a peeping Tom.
Yeah. A pickpocket snatches watches.
So what is it? Carnation milk, the best in the land. Comes in a tin with a red and white band. No tits to pull, no hay to pitch. Just punch 2 holes in the son of a
Cool bikes. You guys look like you're 40.
Well, we are 40.
Do you have the same bike as your boyfriend? Gay!
Oh, well, I am gay, but he's not my boyfriend, because I could do much better than him. Really? Then why don't you? It's difficult out there. You guys will understand when you get older.
It happened before I even knew it. They bring in a lefty, Tim Fortuna, first pitch, throws a fastball, boom.
Southern California has his 3,000th hit.
It was crazy. Like, he went 4 for 4, and it was just insane. It was kind of a surreal experience.
I saw him walk on the on-deck circle, and I started crying because I knew he was going to do it.
What a moment of baseball history here at Anaheim Stadium.
Another cool thing, my brother Ken was in the booth, and he got the call.
Mobbed by his teammates here at Anaheim Stadium. And for you, Ken Brett, I know it's a thrill to see your little brother get it.
Well, I tell you what, I couldn't be prouder. I couldn't be happier.
I remember a comment that he made.
I know one thing. I think I'm going to get home a little bit late tonight.
And we did.
Party time.
Hey, I couldn't have done it without you.
Welcome back. 2-1 your score as the Sharks lead the Tigers. Ronald Acuna Jr. Sharks. Two to one your score, top of the second. Righty-righty matchup to start us off. Pena, the batter. And the first pitch on the way is right there for a strike across the letters. It's 0-1. So that's another good example. You're seeing the first pitch, the first dot that's showing right down the middle. It wasn't. It was high in the zone. It was a strike, but it was high in the zone. 1-0. 0-1, down and in. 1-1 count. Swing, slices it foul. Righty-righty matchup, steps out of the box once again. If they have similar rules as they do in Major League Baseball, they're not exact, because it's a 1-2 pitch, swung on, sliced through the right side of the infield. That's through for a base hit. Ronald Acuna Jr. will pick up the ball in right field, and it's a leadoff single for the Tigers. I mentioned this last week, but they've got a pitch clock they're showing, but I don't believe they start it like they do in Major League Baseball, where it's instant and you've got to get going. And I've seen it paused a few times. So they just started getting it going now. There's still 12 seconds left on that pitch clock. And that thing should have started about 10 seconds ago. First pitch on the way is down and in for a ball. It's 1-0. Righty-lefty matchup. Escobar, the batter. 1-0. Outside wide, 2-0. So I just saw a report that they're saying that the Mets are talking about platooning Jeff McNeil at first base with someone like a Paul Goldschmidt. I'm a little confused by this as the 2-0 pitch, outside wide, 3-0. Because when Steve Cohen bought the Mets, all they talked about was all the money he was going to spend. And you're going to have a platoon at first base of McNeil and Goldschmidt? I mean, that sounds like coupon clipping to me. Pitch right there for a strike. First strike of the at-bat, 3-1. 3-1 count. Yeah, but it's a strange rebuilding because they're old. Usually you rebuild because you're young. You don't rebuild when you've got Jeff McNeil and you're going to go sign Goldschmidt. I mean, you're talking about getting older. Got rid of Nimmo to bring in Marcus Semien. I thought they were going to start making some big moves, and instead, it's kind of a dud so far for them. 3-1 pitch, swung on, pops it up. High in the sky, can of corn right behind second base. Arias, the Gold Glover, will make the grab. One away. One up, one down, one on. Aces wild here in the second inning. 2-1 your score. First pitch on the way is inside for a ball. It's 1-0. Rodriguez the batter. This is the Keeper type. Keeper Rodriguez. 3 Rodriguez in the lineup tonight for the Tigers. As the 1-0 is inside, ball 2-2. I don't know if he's paying attention to the free agency, but if it doesn't get better, John Frank the Tank may not make it to the regular season. The 2-0 swung on, roasted down the line, just foul, 2-1. Runner at first, one out, tying run on base. Go ahead run at the plate. Sharks took a 2-1 lead in the first inning off a 2-run shot by Gabriel Arias. We'll have the very bottom of the order due up for the Sharks in the bottom of the second inning. So you may see Acuna yet again. It's unbelievable, though, because Diaz, unless he falls off mightily, that is just going to be a filthy bullpen. I don't know how you beat the Dodgers. The 2-1 pitch, swing. That ball is roasted towards left field. That's going to get over the head of the left fielder Montano, and it's going to get over the wall. So it's going to be it's going to be a grounds rule double. It just snuck up over the wall. Second and third and one out. I don't think the Dodgers have to really add much else. We know they got the offense. They got their big chip with the Diaz signing. If you sign anybody else, you're going to have to move some folks. First pitch on the way is down and away right there. Misses for a ball just off the edge. That's 1-0. Infield, back and shaded to the left. The pitch on the way, swung on, chopped over towards short. Arias got it. He'll fire it over to first. Runner at second will stay put. The runner at third will come home. We've got a tie ball game here in the second. Deuces wild, 2-2 in inning number 2. With 2 down. Pitch on the way. First pitch swinging, and that ball's lifted into right field, drifting over, going back. Nowhere near the warning track, making the catch before the foul line is Ronald Acuna Jr., and that'll end the inning. But not before the Tigers tie it up with the Sharks. We'll be back in a flash. 2-2, inning number 2. Ronald Acuna's second at bat. coming up just around the bend.
My mom just spent $80 on premium dog food, so obviously I hate it now.
I'm not saying life is beating my ass, but that got hands.
It appears that there's been some major confusion, and I need to set the record straight. I have a very good relationship with my father, okay? He came to all of my dance recitals. He was present. He told me he loved me. He hugged me. He was proud of me. There's no void that I need filled, okay? I don't need an older father figure. I'm all good. So get out of my inbox.
People say if you marry a baseball player, you really marry baseball. And there's a lot of truth to that statement. Remember the first time I saw Nolan. I was only in the 4th grade, so I wasn't really thinking about boys, but I did remember seeing him because he was on the Little League baseball team. I just remember these games going on, and I could come and just stand there by the fence and look at the ball games. I remember Nolan was on a Little League team called the Rangers, and probably when I was in the 7th grade. That's when I thought about him being cute. I guess I was in 8th grade when he asked me to go to that movie.
I called her up on the phone and asked her if she'd like to go out. Obviously, she had to ask her mother. Evidently, there weren't any red flags up towards Nolan.
There was a movie playing at the Alvin Theater.
He was voted most handsome, she was voted most beautiful, and she was a star tennis. He was a star in basketball and baseball later, but they just hit it off.
At least whatever's wrong with me made me funny.
Welcome back. First pitch on the way to start the inning. Right there for a strike at 0-1. That's fouled up for a fastball just off the plate. Evens up the count at 1-1. 2-2 your score, bottom of the 2nd inning. The 1-1. Snaps a curve right there. It's 1-2. 1-2 count. 1-2 fouled away. We'll do it again. Slowly putting some of these together, John, the clips. I won't be able to do as many as I did last year, but I do expect to do at least 200-300 of them. I've got a much busier off-season schedule this year. Doing some of the stuff we're doing right now, but then just across the board. The 1-2. Swung on and lifted down the left field line, fouling out of play. We'll do it again. I'm also trying not to burn myself out because this year, 2026, we're planning on doing a ton of content. And as the 1-2 pitch, swing, slices it away. We'll do it again. Last year, man, I was putting 12, 14-hour days in sometimes when I had time off putting these clips together. I was like, man, I got to start capping this at 3-4 hours at a time. And then 1-2 pitch is swung on and sliced foul down the line. We'll do it again. But last year we weren't doing any of these games. And still a pretty busy schedule, but you start having to drag and clip and whatnot across the board. The first time last year, I started getting like carpal tunnel. I'm like, man, I gotta watch that nonsense. It's the 1-2 high and out of the zone. 2-2. It's not nearly as bad during the regular season, the carpal, because I'm not doing a ton of clicking there. It's when you have to edit all the clips in. 2-2 count. Kicks and fires. Swing, chops it over towards second. That's going to be an easy 4-3 put out. Good throw over there from Escobar to David. One away. Yeah, I mean, well, considering we already have 1,000, John, so you're talking about, so last year we went from 400, it was right below 400, I forget the actual number, all the way up to 1,000, which is 600. Over 600, plus I had to redo a ton of them. I have to redo a few of them this year, but it's nowhere near as many. It's the first pitch on the way to Carlos Toshi, the number 9 hitter, center fielder for the Sharks. We saw him come in last game. He didn't start, but he came in the 6th inning for defensive purposes. Tall, wiry. Kind of reminds me of, his build reminds me of Jason Worth back in the day when he was really young coming up. But yeah, that was my big goal, and I didn't realize how much time it was going to take to do it. So I put my head down, buried it in, and got to 1,000. And that's when the carpal tunnel started kicking in as the 0-1 misses high and out of the zone 20. And this year I'm like, all right, at the most 300. But when the season starts, we're going to be doing so many double headers and anything as the 1-1 fouls it away. 1-2. It's going to be almost impossible to add any as we go. Still waiting on there's about a handful of teams that have not announced their times. Now, I don't know if y'all have noticed, but we did add 2 show cards to the regular season for 2026 to let everybody know when it begins. The Braves opening day as the 1-2 pitch off the plate, 2-2. That is a 4 o'clock first pitch. And we are going to do a pregame show for that day. We'll start the cast at 3 p.m. It's a Thursday. I want to say March 26th is the day. I'm almost positive. It's the 2-2. Looked like he might have gotten the inside corner, but did not get the call. Full count. But then the one I wanted everyone to be aware of was the night before. It's opening night in baseball, something they have not done for a while, but the San Francisco Giants are going to be taking on the New York Yankees as the payoff pitch, down and away, ball 4. So he'll head on down to first. 1 on and 1 out. Good at bat there by Toshi, and that'll flip the lineup over. Bring JQ to the plate, Escobar on deck, and Ronald Acuna Jr. is now in the hole. Righty-lefty matchup, first pitch on the way. Right there on the outer edge. It's 0-1. We've actually got 4 locations, Brian, because we save it to, if you're talking about the clips, we save it to the cloud, to our website, to the computer itself, and to a hard drive backup. The 0-1 pitch, swung on, chopped through the hole, and that's going to get through the infield. And Toshi, center fielder, is going to bend around second, heading to third. And the Sharks got runners on the corners and just 1 out. Yeah, we're adding a little bit well, I've already added and created, we won't play it till opening day, the real opening day when the Braves play. But, we've got a brand new intro. I call it the intro anthem because it's the introduction, and then eventually it plays the national anthem going into first pitch. We've added quite a bit of stuff on that, and I think you'll enjoy that. And the look is much different. We did some AI generation and then also some other things to make it a little different. First pitch on the way, down and away for a ball. It's 1-0. That took forever. So that alone is one of the reasons why I'm a little behind on doing the clips. That thing took almost a week. I did not realize how long it was going to take to make that. But that thing took forever. 1-0 count. Runners on the corner. Swing! Fouls it away. 1-1. And I got other things that I got planned to add to the production and some things we're going to do to try to spice up the games, especially if any of them get away from us, kind of like the way we were doing the Who Yam I. Pitch on the way, swung on, sliced through the hole, and that's through for a base hit. And the Sharks will take the lead. It is 3-2. RBI single for Escobar as Toshi comes home. JQ winds around and heads towards third base, so we still have runners on the corners. There's just one out. Ronald Acuna Jr. is coming to the plate, and that's going to be it for the pitcher. So they're going to make a pitching change. This is pretty common in this league and a lot of the leagues that are being played, is that you will see a pitch limit on these guys and inning limits on these guys. So we're going to take a real quick break. When we come back, we'll talk more about what's going on for the 2026 season. Hit you up with a couple of the ideas that we have for the schedule and more. We'll be back in a flash here on Sharks Baseball, baby. There's got to be something wrong with us watching Sharks Baseball.
So I used to date this guy. And he. Oh, I don't think I'm ready to talk about that yet.
Most Americans don't realize the fight it took to secure our Bill of Rights. Virginia Governor Patrick Henry, a staunch anti-federalist, opposed the Constitution, fearing it gave the federal government too much power over the states and lacked protections for individual liberties. To win over skeptics, James Madison promised to propose a Bill of Rights if the Constitution was ratified. Madison won. Undeterred, Henry then gerrymandered Madison's district to block him from being elected to the first Congress and persuaded Madison's protege James Monroe to run against him. Again, Madison triumphed and kept his promise, drafting a list of 20 amendments. He pared this down to 17 the House approved. The Senate reduced the list further to 12, which were sent to the states for ratification. On this day in history, December 15th, 10 of those amendments became part of the Constitution when Virginia became the 11th state to ratify them in 1791, our Bill of Rights. Remarkably, one of the two amendments that didn't pass at the time, on congressional pay, was finally ratified almost 200 years later, becoming the 27th Amendment in 1992.
Here's the newest member of baseball's 3,000 hit club.
Returning home to Kansas City after his 3,000th hit, late in the 1992 season, life for George Brett couldn't have seemed better. But questions lingered about what was next, inside Brett's head, and evidently in the mind of Royals owner Ewing Kauffman.
The year I got 3,000 hits, he says, well, are you going to play next year or not? I had 1 year left on my contract. And I said, I don't know, I'm going to call some people. I just got 3,000 hits. Do I really want to play anymore or what? Then that's when I say, well, if you were me, Mr. Kauffman, what would you do? And he looked at me and he said, if I was you, I would retire and let a younger, more deserving player play.
Welcome back. Braves Country Radio, your home for the classic call of Braves Country Baseball. First pitch on the way to Ronald Acuna Jr. That ball is scorched into left field. And it looks like the left fielder is going to make the catch. Man, that ball was absolutely smoked. A running grab, backhanded grab by Yordiel Hernandez by the Tigers, and that'll bring Arias to the plate. Runners on the corners, 2 outs. He's already hit a 2-run home run. First pitch on the way. Up high and out of the zone. It's 1-0.
What's for dinner? Hey, chef, what's for dinner?
1-0. Pitch on the way. Swing, fouled it back out of play. It's 1-1. Doing chicken wraps tonight. Chicken, lettuce, and tomato. A little bit of mayonnaise. That's what we're doing for tonight. We got the girls some. They're actually eating like kings tonight. They're going to be eating the leftovers of some pulled brisket. Italian wedding soup. I haven't had that in a long time. Grilled cheese. That is one of the favorites around here. Actually, probably shouldn't have said that loud. Because my puppies will start looking around. That's one of their favorites, and they know what it means. The 1-1 swung on, chops it over towards short, and it's going to be a 6-4 putout, and that'll end the inning. But not before your Sharks take a 1-run lead. We'll head to the top of the third. Here in Venezuela, Sharks 3, Tigers 2.
Genuinely upset. I'm legitimately, I'm mad. I'm sad. I am confused. I am shocked and appalled. At what age did the people at the bank decide that I no longer enjoy suckers?
I just got 3 things to say. God bless our troops. God bless America. And gentlemen, start your engine!
I got lost in the game. I mean, the ballpark, the people, the color, the sounds, smells. And it's a passion. It's a very, very big part of my life. Sometimes I like to be 11 years old. I like being part of something that's bigger than me. It's good for your soul to invest in something you can't control.
You're a romantic. You have a lyrical soul. You can love under the best and worst conditions.
Everybody's always so quick to tell you that McDonald's is so unhealthy. What about that relationship you in, McStupid?
Clemente batted .414 in the series, hit 2 doubles, a triple, and 2 home runs, and led the Pirates to the championship in 7 games. A year later, on September 30th, 1972, he passed yet another milestone in his long career.
Everybody certainly wants Bobby to get that big number 3,000. Matlack on the 0-1. Bobby hits a drive into the gap in left center field. There she is.
That winter, an earthquake hit Nicaragua, and Clemente volunteered to carry relief supplies to the victims. On New Year's Eve, his plane crashed into the Atlantic Ocean. His body was never found.
Welcome back. 3-2 your score. Sharks lead the Tigers. Sharks go back to work. First pitch on the way. Down and in for a ball. It's 1-0. Righty-righty matchup. Hernandez the batter. The 1-0 right down the pipe for a strike. It's 1-1.
Yep, what I am. That's all what I am.
It's time for Who Am I? The 1-1 misses right there. Down and in. 2-1. Really calling a high zone tonight. 2-1 pitch. Swing, fouls it away. 2-1. 2-2, excuse me. If you're just joining us, Acuna's 0 for 2 on the day, but he's hit 2 balls really hard. That last one, I'm still amazed that thing didn't get down. The 2-2 pitch. Swing, fouls it back. We'll do it again. Who am I? I am a major league an ex-major league baseball starting pitcher and known predominantly for my career in the American League as the 2-2 in the dirt, ball 3-3-2. I have been to 3 All-Star games, and I am a world champion. Payoff pitch. Kicks and fires. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Got him with the high cheese. 1 away. I'm a World Series MVP. And I led the Major League in wins. And I'm a member of my team's Hall of Fame, though I am not in the National Baseball Hall of Fame. First pitch on the way to David Rodriguez. Right there for a strike. It's a 1. The 0-1 inside. 2-1. No pushing buttons. He, although I see where you're going there. As the 1-1 swung on, chopped on the ground over to second. It's going to be an easy 4-3 put out. 2 down. That's actually not a terrible guess. It just made me laugh that Peter said it, Tommy. But no, this is an ex-player. It's not a current player. The bulk of my career was in the 1980s, where I did most of my damage. First pitch on the way is up top for a strike. To Martinez, it's 0-1. I have a WAR of over 40, but under 50. So 0-1 pops it up high in the sky, and that's going to be an easy 1-2-3. We'll go to the top of the 3rd inning. We don't see a lot of those in the early going in this league. It's 3-2 Sharks. They'll grab the bats. Quick defensive inning. See if they can tack on when we return.
I just saw one of my local crackheads, and he looked at me and he was like, "Hey, got one for you." And I was like, "What?" And he goes, "I'll huff, I'll puff, and I'll steal all your stuff."
The real question is, brunette crazy, redhead crazy, or blonde crazy?
Oof. Oh, brunette crazy.
Yeah, those are completely different kind of crazies. Because redhead crazy is like, will ruin your life, but will be the best bouncy time you've ever had in your life.
Blonde crazy.
Will ruin your life, but will also blast the car into the side of an 18-wheeler going...
That's because she's in her damn Barbie Jeep and doesn't understand what curves are.
Brunette crazy is the kind where you wake up and she's standing over you with a Bowie knife and you're like, "What are you doing?" And she just says, "Don't worry about it." You do exactly the opposite. You worry about
everything.
Turn off for me, can't swim. I mean, the earth is 80% water. So if there's a tsunami and you trying to get on my back, bye, I'm doing me. I ain't your floaty. I ain't nobody floaty.
The legality of Major League Baseball's controversial reserve clause is now in the hands of the Supreme Court. The case involves the trade of Curt Flood from St. Louis to Philadelphia. That case for Flood is being argued.
It was so difficult for the fans to understand my problems with baseball. I was telling my story to deaf ears because I was telling my story to a person who would give their firstborn child to be doing what I was doing. And he just could not understand how there could be anything possibly wrong with baseball.
For nearly 3 years, Curt Flood had been in the courts, fighting a one-man battle with Major League Baseball over the reserve clause. Despite the advice of the Players Union, he had left the game in 1969 rather than be traded against his will.
Welcome back. See if you see. Have not seen the right answer yet. I've got a Hideo Nomo. I've got a Chan-Ho Park. First pitch on the way is a shown bunt by the Sharks. Montano tries to drop one down, but it pops up foul and out of play. It's 0-1. Born in New York, so you can eliminate any of the Hideo Nomos or Chanho Parks. The 0-1. Outside wide one. I was born in New York. That's not really where I'm known for, though I did spend a small part of my career in New York. 1-1 count. Up top. This is high to him. The 2-1, righty-lefty, pitch, swing, chops it foul, we'll do it again. Infield is back and to the right. The 2-1 pitch swung on and chopped over to second. High chopper. It's going to be a 4-3 putout. Kind of a tricky hop over there. Escobar had to stay with it. Almost leaped over his glove. One away. You're just joining us, bottom of the third inning. Tigers trail the Sharks 3-2. Ronald Acuna Jr.'s Sharks with the lead. They are the road team tonight. First pitch on the way is inside. The ball is 1-0. Or actually, they're playing as the home team. This is not the same stadium that they played in the other night, though. So I was looking it up, and I guess they have a handful of different stadiums that these teams will play in. They are considered the home team, though this is not their. This is not the home stadium that I had on the screen a little while ago. 2-1 count. Timeout called by Castellanos. Pitch on the way inside. That ball almost gets him. Has to bend out of the way. First baseman. Ball 3-1. The 3-1 count. She said pitch on the way. High and out of the zone. Ball 4. So he'll head on down to first. 1 on, 1 out. Bottom of the third inning. Back to the Hugh Yamai. Try to give you all a little better clues as we go along here. Three-time All-Star in 1988, 1990, and 1991. First pitch right there on the outer edge. First strike it's on. What's funny as a kid growing up, I would have thought frankly that this guy would be headed to the Hall of Fame, and then you look at his overall numbers. He really cratered after he left his home team. The 0-1. Swung on, chops it over towards short. It's going to be a 6-4-3 double play. Runner tell you what, he wasn't. You talk about a lack of hustle. There is no hustle going on there from home to first. We'll be back in a flash. 3-2 your score. We'll finish up this Hoog Yamai when we return. Sharks over the Tigers in a tight one.
Looks like Mom is leaving without us. You're right. She's putting on an outfit that doesn't make her look homeless.
He was washed up, unwanted, and in 1935, the greatest baseball legend had one last swing left in him. They were the worst team in baseball, the 1935 Boston Braves. Dead last, no hope. But they had one thing no other team on earth had: Babe Ruth. 40 years old, barely able to run. So he went to Boston. May 25th, 1935. Forbes Field, Pittsburgh. The Braves are sinking fast. Fans barely look up anymore when Ruth comes to the plate. He's hitting 153. He's done. Finished. But then, crack. Home run, number 712. A spark. Next at bat, Crack. Home run number 713. The crowd starts to rise. Is this really happened? Later in the 7th inning, one man, one swing, one last chance. A 3-1 pitch. The ball doesn't just leave the field. It becomes the first baseball ever to clear the right field roof in Forbes Field. Home run number 714. That was his final burst of greatness. He'd play 5 more games. No more hits, no more magic.
For Nolan's and Ruth's second date, he took Ruth to the old ballpark next to the Astrodome to watch Sandy Koufax pitch.
Sandy Koufax is the greatest left-handed pitcher in history. He was the most dominating left-hander in history.
Swung on and missed, struck him out. And look at those Dodgers. Congratulate Koufax.
He idolized Sandy Koufax. He was watching Sandy pitch. He wouldn't talk to me. He wouldn't get up. And he was mesmerized.
We were sitting right behind the plate. I got a bird's eye view of Sandy warming up, and I'd never seen anybody throw like that.
That's the first time he saw Sandy Koufax pitch. Within 10 years, he'd broken all his records.
Yo, imagine disrespecting me and I go pay a crackhead to kiss you on the lips. Yeah, it's that serious.
Welcome back. Played my college ball for St. John's University. The first pitch on the way is high and out of the zone. For ball, it's 1-0. Ended up facing my future teammate in Ron Darling when he was at Yale University. 1-0, swing and a miss, 1-1. The 1-1 count. This will narrow it down for you a little closer. Pitch on the way, outside wide. 2-1. Won my World Series for a team in the was now the American League Central. 2-1, fouls it back, 2-2. So the 2-2 count. Welcome in Ramos. Nobody on, nobody out. Still here in the top of the 4th inning. Sharks are clinging to a 3-2 lead as the pitch on the way. Swung on, fouled away. We'll do it again. If you're just joining us, Ronald Acuna Jr. is 0 for tonight. He's hit 2 balls extremely hard. One right on the screws into left field, and for whatever reason, they were not playing him very deep, and the left fielder was able to get to it as the 2-2 pitch swung on, lifted out to center field, and making a diving, tumbling catch is Toshi. One away. Good defensive play there by Toshi. Looked like it might have knuckled on him at the last minute. He had a bad read on it, but a good hustle. Was able to adjust. He was fading away from the ball backhanded, and he gets a hand pump from not just the starting pitcher, but from the crowd in the infield. First pitch on the way is right there for a strike. It's 0-1. Our next broadcast of the Sharks will be next Thursday, 6 p.m. Eastern. Is the 0-1 in the dirt. 1-1. 1-1 count, and we will be bringing you the Caribbean Series starting on January 2nd. We're waiting for times and whatnot. We're going to bring you as much of that as we can. That should be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to that. You'll see the intensity really crank up when they get to the Caribbean Series. Is the 1-1 out of the zone 2-1. And then, of course, we'll have the World Baseball Classic starting in March. As the 2-1 pitch, swing, pops it up, high, into shallow right center field, coming over and making the sliding. Did he catch that ball? Over the shoulder, a catch? No, it fell. Okay, the ball fell just in front. From a distance from where the ball was being sliced to, I thought he had actually caught it barehanded over his shoulder, but as we take a closer look, it actually hit inside just before his outstretched hand, and then he caught it on a perfect carom to keep it to a single. So runner at first, 1 out. Double play depth for the infield. The first pitch on the way, swing and a miss up top. It's 0-1. But when we get on the other side of the Caribbean Series and before we get to the World Baseball Classic in March, is the 0-1 swing and a miss? It's 0-2. Going to be bringing you a lot of spring training games, but also in January and in February, we'll be cranking up the Braves Country Theater once again, where we do an old game and some Once Upon a Pastimes. The 0-2 count. In the dirt, ball is blocked, but it kicks away out in front of the catcher. Tallis did just about everything right there. The ball just kicked off his protector, and the tying run is in scoring position with 1 away. Back to the Who Yam I? I don't think anybody's guessed it yet. I've been trying to keep an eye on the chat. I don't see the name yet. As the first pitch off of that wild pitch is high and out of the zone. That ball almost went to the backstop. Great grab by Yelski from going to the backstop. It's 2-2. These are the clues that'll make it a little easier for you. My nickname was Sweet Music, and I had a lifetime ERA of 3.73 and a whip of 1.30. I won 176 games versus 150 losses, and I was an integral part of the rotation that brought home the World Series championship for the Minnesota Twins in '87. 3-2. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. And yes, it is. It is Frank Viola.
Yam what I am. That's all what I am.
So runner at second, 2 outs. Pitch on the way is outside, high and out of the zone. It's 1-0. Right there at the knees, 1-1. That's why they're a little more difficult to create the clues, because you don't want you want to make something so Googleable and easy that someone can get it in the first couple of clues. I don't think there's been any other signings, by the way, in the last few hours. The last one, the big one, if you're just joining us, Pete Alonso signs a 5-year deal to go to Baltimore. $155 million. So a 2-1 count, runner at second, 2 outs. Top of the 4th. Sharks lead the Tigers 3-2. The 2-1 swing and a miss on the outer edge, 2-2. The 2-2. Deuce is wild. Runner at second. 2 outs. A 2-2 count. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. That'll end the inning. Great job of getting out of that jam. clinging to a 1-run lead. The Sharks grab the sticks when we return here in the LVBP.
If there's a man like me living in your neighborhood, you thank him. I'm the man that keeps property taxes down.
Well, Dave, this is way back in February when the pitchers reported down to spring training. This is the afternoon that you were looking forward to, right?
This is what we're shooting for, and I'm so happy we made it, I can't believe it.
And two of Baltimore's left-handers, Cuellar and McNally, went the route and defeated a fine baseball team that has had great success against left-handed pitching.
Well, Chuck, they're an excellent hitting ball club and Aruga ball club all around, and I was very happy and fortunate to beat them in the series, but I wouldn't want to pitch against them for a living.
I understand. Dave, the Baltimore scouts that looked at the Cincinnati Red Ball Club, would you comment on the information they made available to you?
Well, they did an excellent job of scouting the Cincinnati players, and almost any time we got the ball where they told us to get it, we made outs, but we made some mistakes, and they jumped on them.
But another fine ball club, and Dave McNally, you're headed for a winter of golf, is that correct?
A winter of golf and relaxation.
But a little bit of a celebration prior to the golf.
I think we might find room for a party somewhere.
Nolan did things no one ever did, but Nolan was raised like no one ever was.
Every legend has an origin, and Nolan's origin is a doozy. Youngest of 6, Depression-era parents, from a tiny town no one ever heard of, like a page out of the Humble Beginnings playbook. But how did he get that arm? Legend has it, every night Nolan's dad would wake him up at 1 in the morning, and they'd hand deliver over 1,500 papers across the entire city. Every day, 4 hours a day, for 6 years straight. The fact is he actually drove a car for his paper route, but Nolan wouldn't mind us stretching the truth a little, would he?
The Houston Post used to say, well, Nolan Ryan developed his arm from throwing the post. Yeah, that's totally false, because when you drive a car, you throw with your left hand.
Well, guess they decided to print the legend.
Hey, y'all remember, man, jail's temporary. Memories are forever. So go ahead and punch it in the mouth.
Welcome back. 3-2 your score. We're heading to the bottom of the 4th inning here in the LVBP. Ronald Acuna's Sharks lead the Tigers by 1 run, 3-2. Put the box score up there real quick so you can get a gander at it. 2 runs, 6 hits, no errors. 3 runs, 6 hits, no errors. First pitch on the way is a bender at the knees. It's 0-1. Tomas Tellis, the backstop for the Sharks. Righty-lefty matchup, the 0-1 pitch. Swing! That ball's hammered in towards center field. That's going to get through a hard chopper over the bag. And Sharks got something cooking here. Bottom of the 4th, 1 on and nobody out. That'll bring Toshi, the number 9 hitter, to the plate, and then we'll be flipping the top of the order once again. We got another thing that we're going to be doing. I'm going to go ahead and break it out tonight. It's kind of a test run. I don't know what we're calling it. I don't know what soundbite we're going to use, but it's going to be a trivia type deal that we're going to do in the early innings and then build up to all the other stuff that we do, like the Who Am I and the 7th inning stretch and the 8th inning. As the 0-1 pitch is swung on, and that's going to be a bunt attempt. It's going to be a high chopper. Baltimore chopper bounced down towards just in front of the pitcher's mound. He'll grab it and fire it to first and get Toshi by maybe a half step. Good bunt there by Toshi, but he is out, and the runner at first moves to second into scoring position. Chop that thing. That's a perfect bunt attempt. You don't see that kind of skill hardly anymore in Major League Baseball. Not only can a guy get a bunt down, but he chopped it perfectly. You could tell by the way that he was sticking the bat out there that was by design, that wasn't by accident. And it's a high chopper. When you get a high chopper like that on a bunt, not only does it make it damn near impossible to get the man at second, but he almost didn't get the man at first with the speed. Looks like the Orioles are also talking to some of the top free agent pitchers that are still out there. Looks like we're going to get another pitching change, so we're going to stay here with you because I'm going to try to lay this out on the trivia. See, that one's pretty darn easy. So what we did is we came across, there's like a Trivial Pursuit for sports. And I just grabbed this one randomly out of the bag. So we'll do the baseball one last because it's extremely easy for most baseball fans. But we'll go ahead and throw out some of the others that are out there. Well, this is a good one. A lot of this stuff you're just probably going to be Googling. But you get several questions on one card like a typical Trivial Pursuit. So here's one that is a baseball question. And I don't expect most people to know these, so what I may have to do on these across the board is is kind of look at them and figure out what they're really trying to get at. So this one's, it's one of these ones you're probably going to have to just Google, to be honest with you. But which National League park was once known as Wiegand Park? It is now one of the oldest venues in all the sport. But at the beginning, before it got its name from a chewing gum company, it was known as Wiegand Park. Wiegand Park. It's Weeghan, Wiegand Park. I think that's how they pronounce it. It's not Fenway, but you're very close. Yep, it is Wrigley Field, John. So here's an example of one of the baseball questions, another one. What was baseball pitcher Mordecai Brown's nickname? He's a Hall of Famer. He played in Wiegand Park. We are back to the action. And Daniel Juarez will be the pitcher on the mound. Righty-righty matchup. Runner at second, one out. Mordecai Brown, who we've actually done some Once Upon a Pastime on. He had a bad farming accident. He was a pitcher for the Cubs the first time that they won the World Series. Their back-to-back championship years before the 108-year drought. First pitch on the way, lefty-righty matchup is upstairs for a strike. It's a swing and miss. It's on one. Uncle Charlie said Frank Viola again. That's the answer to everything right. No, it's not Joe Jackson. I'm kind of surprised y'all wouldn't know this, but then again, I'm starting to realize I may be a little more into the history of baseball than most. The 0-1 count. See if I can pull up any other information on this. Pitch on the way is swung on and chopped into the shallow part of the infield. That's going to end up being an infield single, rolling it down the line, and no one could grab it in time to get the runner. So we've got runners on the corners and one out. It's kind of a drag drop bunt attempt, kind of a swing and bunt. It was perfectly placed. I'll tell you what, Ronald Acuna Jr. needs to get some of his teammates to come to Atlanta and become batting instructors to teach our guys how to bunt. First pitch on the way is high and out of the zone. It's 1-0. He also had a nickname of Miner, but that's not what he was known for. Pitched in the dead ball era. He's a member of the Baseball Hall of Fame. 1-0, swung on, lifted, high into center field. Kind of a shallow sac fly. Here comes the throw to the plate. A one-hopper, and the runners will stay put. Pretty good throw out there by Hernandez. And now there's 2 outs. I think I'm setting the runner on that one, though. It was a deep, it wasn't a very deep fly ball, but it was going to take a perfect throw to get him. And the throw came up the line and bounced. Actually ended up hitting the pitchers, man. He would have scored with ease. This isn't the one that I thought was going to stump you off. It's just throwing me off. He had a bad farming accident. Because of that, he said that is the first pitch on the way to Ronald Acuna Jr. He's inside for a ball. It's 1-0. We'll get back to this after Acuna's at bat. Yes, it is 3 fingers, Brown. 1-0. Outside wide, 2-0. It was a bad farming accident that Mordecai Brown ended up cutting. He was born in Indiana, and anyways, late 19th century, he was helping out on the farm, and he cut up his fingers. It's the 2-0 pitch, high and out of the zone, ball 3-3-0. They want no part of Acuna. I think they're willing to load the bases. Aries is standing on deck, and he did hit a home run. So it's not like it's chopped liver standing on deck, but he's hit 2 balls extremely hard tonight, right into the teeth of the defense. I'd just be shocked if this left-hander gives him anything to hit. The 3-0. High and out of the zone, ball 4. So that'll load the bases.
Bravo.
Bases loaded, 2 outs. Ducks all over the pond.
Bravo.
Arias will be the batter. Gabriel Arias, another pitching change. Right-hander coming in. But how many fingers did 3 fingers Brown actually have? That's another one of the questions on this card. Enough guesses will get you the right number. But he actually had 4. But the reason why they call him 3 fingers Brown is because one of his fingers was completely taken off, leaving him 3 fingers and 1 thumb. So that's why they call him 3 fingers Brown. But everybody said that the spin off that ball that Brown had would just make the ball just dip and dive and do all kinds of weird things. And that's why he was incredibly hard to hit. What was his career ERA was 2.06. Now that was in the dead ball era, so that's, even though that's incredibly good, it was fairly common to get pretty low ERAs in that era because we talked about it before, but you had teams out there playing with the same ball the entire game. And it was because they were just cheap. They didn't want to bring in new balls. And the balls would get scuffed up on bad weather days. They would end up being just full of dust and mud and everything. And by the time you got around to the second, third time through the lineup, where nowadays you're like, man, the batters ought to really be able to tee off. The ball was full of so much junk that you couldn't hit it out of the infield very easily. And that's why you had the cross batting stances from like guys like Ty Cobb, who were literally just trying to poke the ball into the open holes, because trying to lift the ball out of the stadium was fool's gold. It wasn't until Babe Ruth came along that they started changing out the balls a little more, and then the death of Chapman getting hit in the temple with one of those balls on a gray afternoon. I believe that was 1920 or 1921. That pretty much ended it. After that, Major League Baseball stepped in and said that you had to start changing the balls out more. But even then, they weren't changing out to what they do today. First pitch on the way to Arias as we come back to the action. Bases loaded, 2 outs. Pitch is well outside the zone. It's 1-0. 1-0. Kicks and fires outside wide. 2-0. That ball almost went to the backstop. As Acosta, the right-hander, coming in, may not be fully ready to roll. I mean, neither one of those pitches are anywhere near the zone. If you're Aries, and I know he hit the home run earlier, but you almost have to sit there and wait for him to throw a strike. The 2-0 count. High and out of the zone, ball 3-0. So a 3-0 count. Bases loaded, 2 outs. Here's one that might be more down John's alley. It's a football question. So all this is on one card. The 3-0 pitch right there down the pipe for a strike, 3-1. What Dallas Cowboy defensive tackle set a Super Bowl record for sacking Bob Greasy for a 29-yard sack loss in Super Bowl VI? Is the 3-1 right there for a strike on the outer edge. 3-2. 29 yards. Ooh, that was long before you could just chuck the ball and get rid of it out of bounds. He must have been running for days trying to get out of that mess. Full count. Here's the pitch. Swing. That ball slapped over to the right side. That's going to get through for a base hit. 1 run will score. It's 4-2 Sharks. 2 runs will score. It's 5-2 Sharks. And the baby Sharks open up a 3-run lead. Good piece of hitting there by Arias. Runners on the corners as Acuna goes first to third. So you say, John. So you say. No, but I thought you would at least know football history. It was Bob Lilly. Bob Lilly. Even I knew that one. Or know his name. I'm not saying that I knew he had a 29-yard sack. Bob Lilly. One of the great defensive tackles of the game. First pitch on the way is down and in for a ball to Montano. It's 1-0. What did Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Elvin Hayes, and Bob Lanier, along with Wes Unseld, all protest and sit out in the 1968? As the 1-0 swung on, that ball's lifted high and deep into right field. That ball's going to go off the wall, and 1 run will score. 2 runs will score. A bases clearing double, and the Sharks have opened up a 7-2 lead. That ball just kept bending and bending. Hard hit ball. Thought it was going to leave the stadium. It went up against the wall. The right fielder, LC, out there was slamming into the wall. Back to the action. First pitch on the way, swung on and chopped over towards short. It's going to be a 6-3 putout, and that'll end the inning. But not before the Sharks break it out to a 7-2 lead. We'll be back in a flash here in Shark Country.
I know that violence is not the answer, but yes, it is.
Let me get this straight. I can go to the grocery store and buy a pound of sliced ham in a plastic bag, a loaf of bread in a plastic bag, a gallon of milk in a plastic jug, a pack of napkins in plastic wrap, a store-made salad in a plastic tub, plastic bottles with ketchup or mustard, but they won't give me a plastic bag to carry it home in because the plastic bag is bad.
Girls that eat pickles and like thoroughly enjoy eating them, and I'm not talking about like on a burger or anything, but like pickles from a pickle jar. They're always hot. Like, what's with it with hot girls and pickles? I don't understand you.
What I told him was that I agreed with him in principle, but that the courts had treated players as property and would likely do so again, and that his attempt, while a principled one, was, I thought, doomed to failure. And I worried about his knowing the kinds of chances he was taking, that he was going to end his career in a case that probably was a loser.
The lawyers for the major leagues would not talk for the cameras, but in the courtroom they argued that the reserve clause is essential to the future of organized baseball, that without the reserve clause, all the rich teams would get all the star players. But Arthur Goldberg maintains that the reserve clause, tying a player to one team for the rest of his life, is in violation of the 13th Amendment. That's the amendment against slavery and indentured servitude.
Braves Country Radio, your home for the classic call of Braves Country Baseball. Welcome back. First pitch on the way is right there for a strike on the outer edge. It's 0-1. The 0-1. Right there. P at the knees for a strike. 0-2. Unlike the last broadcast, we are not getting pitch counts on the screen. So unless you're keeping track of it at home, your guess is as good as mine. But it is still the same starter out there. Eric Pardino is the 0-2 pitch, high and out of the zone. 1-2. They don't have the. Not only do they not have the pitch count, they haven't been showing miles per hour either. It's probably because you got one clown and an umbrella back there broadcasting the whole game. The 1-2 swung on and lifted high and deep into center field, drifting back at the just before the warning track. Making the catch is Toshi for a loud out number 1. Walked into it? Is there a joke coming here somewhere, or are you being serious? 1 down. First pitch is swung on and lifted into left field. That's going to drop down in front of Montana, and it's a 1-out single for the Tigers. What? I'm trying to read and keep up with what Peter's talking about. So the person slammed on the brakes to avoid hitting the people in front of them, but then they do? They veered in and hit you instead? It's got to make you feel good. First pitch misses outside for a ball. It's 1-0. I'm assuming you're saying that you were not in a car. You were standing outside as well as the 1-0. Right there for a strike down the pipe. It's 1-1. 7-2 your score. Sharks lead the Tigers. We're in the top of the 5th inning. 1-1, swing, chops it over to short. Aries going to be a 6, 4, 3, and into the dirt. He held on to it, double play. Kind of a difficult throw there that chopped into Castellanos' glove backhanded. He was able to hold on, and that'll end the inning. So they put one on but can't get him across. It's 7-2. Good guys. We go to the bottom of the 5th.
Wait, what'd you say?
I said get off your phone. We're watching a show.
Do you get off your phone whenever I'm watching football on the weekends?
But this is different. We're trying to spend quality time together.
Well, we could spend quality time together watching football if you weren't on your phone, so it seems like a little bit of a double standard.
Well, at least on our TV shows, we don't know what's going to happen, but when we watch the Cowboys, I feel like the same thing happens every year.
Got him! Got him!
Armchair.
World Series chance for the first time since 1995. I'm going to take a quick break to pour me a drink, by God, and then I'll meet y'all here. Anyone who wants to hang out and celebrate, we're going to keep this feed going. And let it get it, baby! It's about damn time!
Flood's first trial had been in federal district court in Manhattan in 1970.
I think Kurt Flood on the stand was treated miserably by the federal judge. He almost taunted him. A judge who showed great respect for almost all witnesses. From the bench, the judge asked Kurt Flood, this is not as easy as playing center field, is it? With a sarcastic tone in the middle of a difficult cross-examination.
No active player dared testify on his behalf. Only owner Bill Veeck and a handful of retired stars came to Flood's defense.
Seven to 2 your score. Good guys. Sharks over the Tigers. We're in the bottom of the 5th. Pretty much did the same thing, John, the other night when I told my wife that I wouldn't watch college football Saturday night because of her birthday. She almost bought a hook, line, sinker. She goes, wait a minute. I don't think they play any other games except for when Army Navy play. I was like, God dog it. First pitch on the way is in the dirt for a ball. It's 1-0. Lefty-righty matchup, the 1-0. Swing and a miss. Upstairs, 1-1. I don't know what in the world they put on the screen during the break on the telecast that I'm bringing this to you from. But it looked like, as the pitch on the way, swung on, chopped down the right field line. That ball's got eyes. A seeing eye double scooching down the line, and it's going to be a leadoff double for the Sharks here in the bottom of the 5th inning, leading 7-2. Good piece of hitting there. Hit them where they ain't. that was the Dodgers in the World Series, they would have given them a grounds rule double on that, as that ball was rolling under all kinds of broken bottles and everything over there into the corner near their bullpen sits on the field. First pitch on the way is high and out of the zone for a ball. It's 1-0. Next broadcast will be tomorrow morning. We're going to do the Braves Country Today, 10 a.m. right here, where we're going to go through everything Major League Baseball going on in the winter meetings. Hopefully something drops about the Braves between now and then, but as of right now, all is quiet on the Western Front. Runner at second, nobody out, a 1-1 count. Good to see you, Gary. The 1-1 pitch. Swing, chops it over towards first. It's going to be an easy scoop and flip. 3-1 on the putout, one away. But on the play, runner at second moves on down to third. And the Sharks have another run just 90 feet away. It's Carlos Toshi, the number 9 hitter, center fielder, which will move Acuna up closer to the plate. And the infield is, won't say it's all the way in, but it's a little more aggressive than halfway in. Lefty-righty matchup. First pitch to Toshi. Drops it in for a ball. It's 1-0. Good bending curveball. He laid down a perfect bunt his last time up. He's the one that chopped it high. Man, if he dropped one down here like that, he'd probably be safe and the runner would score. The way they're playing. 1-0. Swing. Slices it foul. 1-1 count. She walked into your car, John. It's probably up on the sidewalk after last call, knowing you. So, 1-1 count. Pitch on the way. Swing and a miss. 1-2. Sharks 7. Tigers 2. Ronald Acuna Jr. batting third in the order. You got the number 9 hitter at the plate right now. The 1-2 count. Runner at third. Here's the pitch. Swing. Bangs that. Foul. Try to get him with the cutter in on his hands. Do it again. The 1-2. Upstairs, misses high, 2-2. John hits things all the time heading home, asking questions like, why in the hell do they put mailboxes and sprinkler systems in the middle of the road? The 2-2 pitch. Swing, fouls it back. We'll do it one more time. Really putting up a fight here. Well, Matt's right. This will be the 9th pitch of the at-bat. He does call for time. The 2-2. Southpaw delivers. Swing! Fouls it back. We'll do it again. unbelievable battle going on here between Carlos Toshi and Nunez, the southpaw on the mound. Here's the windup to pitch. Inside, that almost got him. Somehow he got out of the way. If Toshi wasn't like, there's another word for it, he's crackhead skinny. If he wasn't that skinny, man, that ball's hitting him. It's at least grabbing his jersey. The payoff pitch. Swing, pops it up, back behind home plate. And tossing to the mask aside is Yorman. He'll make the catch. F2 in your scorecard. And after all that, pop, fly, can of corn behind home plate makes it 2 down. Infield can now move back. Pete, I think you'll find out that most guys, you can get them to, if you ignore them, they want to talk to you more. First pitch on the way is down in the dirt for a ball. It's 1-0. Of course, it kind of goes both ways. I guess women are like that way too. 1-0. It's not foolproof, but I'd say 75 to 85% of the population on both sides. 1-0 count. Lefty, righty. JC, the batter, the leadoff hitter for the Sharks, takes a swing and a miss. It's 1-1. Acuna now in the hole. On deck is Escobar. How do I get him to chase me? Usually tequila. It's always worked for me. A 1-1 count. Swing and a miss, 1-2. Chased a high one out of the zone. One, two. It's kind of funny. All of a sudden, the screen turned light. Like I mean, it does take a while to get through these games, but it's almost like it's saying that it went from nighttime back to daytime in this inning. The 1-2 count. Batter stepping out of the box. JC, the leadoff batter for the Sharks. Escobar on deck, Acuna in the hole. Runner at third, 2 outs, 7-2 your score. Pitch on the way. That ball is fouled off. We'll do it again. Man, I'll tell you what. He is having some battles here. The 1-2. Fouls that one off. One-two count. Kicks and fires. Swing. Pops that one back foul. Will that stay in play? It will not. I guess he's just got one of those fastballs that it's not powerful enough to blow it by anybody. But there's not enough movement on it for it to miss either. Seems like pitch after pitch after pitch, all the last two batters, you're just spraying the ball over the right and behind home plate in foul territory. The 1-2. Swing! That ball's lifted. High into left field, drifting, and making a diving attempt. I believe he trapped the ball. He did, and it is an RBI single for the Sharks. So they've opened up the score now 8-2. Thank you, Uncle Charlie. I just got the notification on the Cash App. Appreciate the support. Lefty-righty matchup. First pitch on the way. A strike, and he'll follow that up with a swing and a miss. Looked like he took something off that one. It's 0-2. Ronald Acuna Jr. now stands on deck. The 0-2. Fouls that one off. We'll do it again. Pitch on the way. That ball's fouled off. The 0-2 count. Right there. Just missed inside, I guess. 1-2. Man, that was close. One, two. Down and in, 2-2. Eight to 2 your score. Sharks leading the Tigers. The pitch on the way, swung on, chopped over towards third. Long throw, but he'll make the play, and it's a 5-3 putout, and that'll end the inning. But not before the Sharks put one more on the board. We'll be back in a flash. 8-2. Good guys. They'll go to the field when we return.
So, in the past 17 years, I learned that 114 accidents resulting in death happened at a gym, okay? In the same 17 years, only one man died eating a donut. Be safe. Make good choices.
What the hell did you trade Jay Buhner for? He had 30 home runs and over 100 RBIs last year. He's got a rocket for an arm. You don't know what the hell you're doing.
Heat wave alert! The Irish people are in danger. Blistering temperatures of 71 Fahrenheit. These are very dangerous. You don't even realise you're in a heat wave, so you feel comfortable having a little cup of tea, sitting in a chair after someone else. Oh, it's lovely and warm. But the Irish people are fighting back against these extreme weather conditions. We are campaigning for climate leave for when it's too hot. Conditions range from mild to really quite warmish. We will no longer risk our lives in these conditions.
He could throw the ball harder than anybody I know about. He was here pitching in Alvin. He'd bring his catcher's mitt and the ball, and he would pitch to me until my hand wore out. If you caught it right in the catcher's mitt, it was fine. But if it hit where your palm was, it hurt. Because he was the hardest chunker I've ever caught. Sometimes he'd burn my hand a little bit, and I'd say, boy, how hard are you throwing? And he'd say about 3/4 speed, and that would scare me a little bit.
When I went out as a sophomore for the varsity baseball team, I hit my final growth spurt. It was like I had somebody else's arm.
And remember, with a little rusties and an insane amount of luck, you too can look like me.
Welcome back. Appreciate it, Charlie. That'll buy some good American cheese right there, man. First pitch on the way is right there for a strike. It's 0-1. The 0-1. Righty-righty matchup. Pitch on the way, swing and a miss. David Rodriguez is the pitcher. Different than the David Rodriguez that was in the field the other game. Same roster, different person. The 0-2 count. Up top, misses high, 1-2. John, you threw me off because you started putting that 7th inning cheese thing up there, and I was thinking it was the 7th inning. I darted towards the damn fridge, realizing that and then I looked up and go, it's the 6th inning, man. What is he doing? The 1-2 swing. Chops it over towards short. It's going to be a 6-3 put out, 1 away. These games do take forever. One of the main reasons why we're only doing one a week, because and what we may do, because we have a couple of stations that are going to leave us, they want Acuna to bat one more time. And he should be up in the next inning, so that might be it. We'll see how it plays out. But I do want to at least get to the 7th inning and at least start going into the 8th so we can play the 8th inning clip. 1-0 count. Kicks and fires. Swing, chops it foul. 1-1. Eight to 2 your score. Top of the 6th. Pitch on the way, outside wide to him. Start looking in your mailboxes next week. We hope to have everything out next week for you admins. The plan was this week, and then we've had ourselves a hell of a week here. The pitch on the way is right there, 2-2. So long story short, that took up some of the time we were going to use to be able to put everything together and send out. So we do plan on getting it out there next week. The 2-2 count, high and inside, ball 3-3-2, full count. If you're just joining us, Ronald Acuna's Sharks lead the Tigers 8-2. He hit 2 balls extremely hard right into the glove of the defense, and then after that, they've done nothing but pitch around him. So when you see his numbers at the end of this league, and you go, man, what the hell? He doesn't hardly. It's because they're just like pitching to him. He is rocketing the ball. 3-2 swing and a miss, strike 3, 2 down. And I would think he's going to get something hit next inning because he'll be leading off the inning in an 8-2 game. The likelihood that they'd be pitching around him is pretty slim. Okay, John. Appreciate it. First pitch on the way is right there at the knees. I'm telling you, this guy's got. That's another thing that's not helping the movement in this game. Is all these umpires. I don't know if it's just expected in this league, but they have a very small strike zone. 1-0, swing and a miss. 1-1. Very few of these umpires that I have seen, even the games we haven't caught, I'm just talking about ones that I caught on TV, just kind of because I'll have it on the background when I'm working in the studio, just to get an idea of what's going on there. And very few of them call low strikes. 1-1's fouled away. It's 1-2. So a 1-2 count. I always feel like John's like an informant that's hiding from the mob the way he does business. He doesn't have any kind of electronic trace, nothing. It's crazy. The 2-2. After pitch misses high and out of the zone. I'm a little surprised he's not hiding out in Arizona. Maybe it was the Arizona mob that he made mad. The 2-2 swing and a miss. We'll do it again. Good to see you, Tree Nug. Time is called. I don't know what in the world the umpire does, but he must be motioning to someone who's controlling the clocks. It's the only thing I can make sense of what he's doing. The 2-2 swung on and lifted foul and out of play. 8-2 your score if you're just joining us. Ronald Acuna Sharks leading the Tigers. It's a nip and tuck game until they broke it open in the fourth inning with 4 runs. 8 runs, 11 hits, no errors for the Sharks. 2 runs, 7 hits, no errors for the Tigers. I'm looking up for the score online. It's ARA versus LAG. Makes sense of that. The 2-2 swung on and chopped over towards first. That'll be an easy grounder. G3 your scorecard. That'll end the inning. Tigers go down. 1, 2, 3. We'll go to the bottom of the 6th. Let's go ahead and play this so we make sure we get it in. We'll treat the bottom of the 6th like the bottom of the 8th. Pretend like you're John and you're seeing double in the 6s and 8.
106 miles from Chicago. We've got a full tank of gas, half a pack of cigarettes. It's dark, and we're wearing sunglasses. Hit it.
It's happy hour.
When wins become losses and losses become wins.
You guys going to happy hour? Yeah? Yeah, I'll come for a couple. Just a couple, though. Not like last time.
When buying a beer, don't make this mistake. Buying only one beer can cause a misalignment in your spine due to the uneven weight distribution. This can cause unnecessary back pain and potential spine issues. To prevent this, carry 2 beers, ensuring your body is balanced and proper health maintained.
Okay.
Get it! Hey!
Afternoon, everybody.
Put my pants on, one leg at a time. Guess what? I got a fever, and the only prescription is more...
Ladies and gentlemen, we interrupt our program of dance music to bring you a special bulletin from the Intercontinental Radio News.
You're in Braves country.
Everybody drink a beer. Salute.
They're making it laws where you can't drink when you want to. Pretty soon we're going to be communist country.
Yeah. I mean, the Lord. You gotta understand it. We're on a mission from God.
welcome back. Ronald Acuna Jr. is going to lead us off. And after the 7th inning stretch, we're probably going to call it a night. I'm getting the stations telling me that they're pretty much hanging out for this inning, and then they're going to the regular programming. 8-2 your score. First pitch on the way to Acuna. Inside. Almost gets him in the arm, but it did not look like the fastball. Seriously doubt there was much intent there. More looked like a changeup possibly. It's 1-0. That's the kind of stuff that makes you nervous of him playing in these games. So I do think it keeps him fresh and sharp as the 1-0 swing and a miss one. I would really like it more if we knew he was the designated hitter and not playing right field. I feel like there's more of a chance of him getting injured out there in the field than there is anywhere else. 1-1 count in the dirt. 2-1. Andre Sotilli is the right-hander facing Acuna. Pitch on the way. Swing and a miss. Came out of his shoes on that one, 2-2. Yeah, I agree, John. That whole right field. I'm going to click that 6 times. There it goes. If we've clicked that thing 6 times, it wouldn't come back. The 2-2 count. Brings it inside 3-2. Because I love the idea of him getting at bats down there, to be honest with you. I'd like to see him get 3-4 at bats. Basically, once he treat it like a spring training game, where he gets to around the 7th or 8th inning, pull him. But with the payoff pitch, that ball's in the dirt, ball 4. Acuna slams his bat on the ground, and he'll head on down to first. I just don't really understand what's being gained having him play right field from the Braves perspective. I understand why his team wants him out there because he's a phenomenal outfielder, but the grounds that we've seen him play on, at best, they look like very well-kept minor league park. But some of the games we've watched, I mean, there's some shady. The last game where it started raining, and it was raining for 3 or 4 innings before they came in with a delay. His first pitch on the way, down and in, misses for a ball. It's 1-0. And it just seems like this franchise has been snake bitten recently. There's the 1-0 swing and a miss. Might have gotten a piece of that. Looks like he did, but nonetheless, it's 1-1. Yeah, this park here is not the one we saw him in last week. The one that I had on the screen at the beginning of the game. It was the 1-1 swing and a miss, 1-2. And it's really pretty, though. The backdrop, the water right behind. But at the same token, you got to figure there's just a ton of rain that soaks into that field on the daily basis, because that is right in the middle of hurricane country where these games are being played. Is the 1-2 down and away 2-2. So I'm sure they've got very good irrigation system to a degree, but it just makes you nervous knowing that when I pulled up the radar today, it didn't look like they were even going to get a delay, but I did check it. But you could see all the spots of rain all over the area. As the 2-2 swing, that ball's hit hard on the ground. That's through for a base hit. And Arias, with a single, will send Ronald Acuna Jr. all the way around from first to third. We've got runners on the corners and nobody out. Good hustle around the bases by Acuna. He looked pretty good running on that one. First pitch on the way to the number 5 hitter in the order, Montano. He's inside for a ball. It's 1-0. Double play depth. Acuna stands at third. Arias at first. The 1-0. Ball bounces off his glove. Ball 2-0. Okay. I just saw your comment, John. The 2-0 count. Righty, lefty. Here's the pitch. Swing! Sizzles it back foul, 2-1. Tell you something else that's brutal on this. I keep thinking my eyes are playing tricks on me, but the coverage of their broadcasts pretty blurry. I mean, they're just. I keep thinking I need glasses or something, but it's not that. It's not high definition. 2-1 fouls it back 2-2. It's the only way you can consume the games, and I wanted to see them. Finally figured out how the heck you get them. 2-2 count. Man, Acuna is basically standing on home plate on that pitch. The 2-2 right there for a strike called strike 3. 1 away. His lead was so big it might have caught Montano's by surprise, and he watched the third strike come by. So they've got a shift on the infield where the third baseman is playing halfway between third and short, or excuse me, third and second. So more of like a shortstop position, maybe just a touch more shallow. As the first pitch on the way, Castellanos is right there for a strike. It's 0-1. And he's not doing it now. They moved back because of the right-handed batter. But because of that, Acuna was spacing it out, and he was going just as far down the line at third as the third baseman was from third base. So meaning the only way that they were going to get him is they were going to have to throw to the third baseman. He was going to have to make a tag on the run. So he kind of had him dead to rights on there. And he was so far down the line, he was even and a little bit in touch in front of the pitcher where he could see him, but there's nothing he could do about it. The 1-1 swing, lifts it into left center field. That's down for a base hit, and Acuna will come home. He'll do the gritty as he comes across home plate, and it's 9-2, Sharks over the Tigers. It's a heck of a lot safer to go to Waffle House in the morning than it is late night. John, I can tell you that. Some of my best misunderstandings have happened in Waffle Houses. Runners on the corners, 1 out. First pitch on the way, high and out of the zone. It's 1-0. Sharks 9, Tigers 2. Acuna just came home and scored after being walked once again. It's 3 walks in the game. The 1-0. Down and away to the yeah, I wasn't making that up, John. He did the gritty as he came across the. I like that better than the current football celebration they're doing, where they put their hand over their face and then do the waving in front. That is the most non-dance dance I've ever seen. The 2-0 swing, chops it over towards second. It's going to be a 4. 6-3 inning-ending double play. But not before the Sharks put this one out of reach. It's 9-2. Get up and stretch.
All right. I can't see you. Let me hear you. All 1, 2, 3. Me out to the ball game. Me out to the sky. Find me some
Welcome back. This will probably be the last half inning that we do. We got a blowout, and Acuna's not likely to bat again. 9-2 your score. That's why we did the 7th inning stretch at the beginning of the inning. Next Sharks broadcast right here on Braves Country Radio will be next week on December 18th. We'll come on about 5:30, 5:45, 6 o'clock. First pitch is when it's due. And that'll be leading us into the following night where we're going to bring you Bama, Oklahoma football in the college football playoffs. Remember, this Saturday, 2 o'clock, we're coming on the air, 3 o'clock kickoff, Army-Navy, America's game. Right here on Braves Country Radio. This will be our 6th consecutive year of bringing you America's game. Make sure to tune in. Usually is a lot of fun. First pitch on the way is right there for a strike right down the pipe. It's 0-1. Pena, the batter, the pitcher now, excuse me. Pena versus Pena. Can't make that up. The 0-1 out of the way. 1-1. 1-1 count. That should be a fun. That is still my favorite game to do of everything we do. Baseball, football, you name it. Army, Navy's the best. 1-1 misses down and away, 2-1. They still both run very conservative type of offenses, though Navy has opened it up a little bit. The 2-1 pitch swung on, high chopper, barehanded by the third baseman over there. Escobar, he'll fire it to first across the diamond. It's a 5-3 putout. Went away. Tomorrow, 9 a.m. Eastern on Armchair QB Radio, we'll bring you the Armchair Quarterbacks today. We're going over the Army-Navy game, Week 15 in the National Football League. We're also going to give you our picks for the first handful of bowl games that are going to be whipping around this week, as the first pitch on the way is right there for a strike. It's 0-1. The following week will be Thursday morning once again on Armchair QB Radio, and we're going to do our bowl special as the 0-1 swats it foul. It's 0-2. We're going to make all of our picks for all the bowl games, all the point spreads. A little competition we have every year with each other. And then, of course, also week 16 of the NFL on that day. We will not have a show on Christmas. The 0-2 outside wide, caught looking for a strike, strike 3, 2 down. And then we will return on New Year's Eve. The week of New Year's, we're doing the game on, or doing the show on New Year's Eve. We'll put all this up as we go along, but not likely many people are going to get up and tune in on New Year's Day, so that's why we're doing that. But there will not be a show on Christmas Eve, Christmas Day. First pitch on the way is outside wide for a ball. It's 1-0. But tomorrow is Armchair QB today over on Armchair QB Radio, and then 10 a.m., come back over here to Braves Country Radio, get you caught up on all the baseball news, Braves and beyond. On Braves Country today, the 1-0. Right there for a strike, it's 1-1. There's more rumblings, and usually this is the night that we get some big things. Hey, look at there. Did y'all see this? The Braves just made a move. It's the 1-1 right there on the outer edge. The Braves, Mike Yastrzemski, the Yaz, has signed a 2-year deal with the Atlanta Braves. I got to double check and make sure that's right. I just saw it come across, but it's very far away from me. He's an outfielder. He's one of my favorite players just because of who his grandfather was. It's a 2-1 pitch, swung on, and that'll end the inning. That'll end the game. But, well, it won't end the game, but it'll end our broadcast for the game. I'm going to stay on here for just a second and bring you everything I can find out, and then we'll talk about it more tomorrow morning on Braves Country today. but it looks like the Braves have made a move. It's not a major move, but it's an interesting move that it looks like they didn't even flash that across. There it is. Mike Yastrzemski, 2-year, $23 million deal for the Braves. 3rd-year option. And he's a little long in the tooth. I'll give you his stats here in a second. But he is your typical platoon guy that you could put at DH. And of course, in the outfield, he can play the corner outfields very well. See if we got any news, noteworthy news on that. Let's see what we got here. So, like I said, we're going to wrap this up in a second, and I'll talk more about it tomorrow at 10 a.m. But it's a 2-year deal. Waiting to hear whether this indicates Dubon will be the everyday shortstop. Honestly, there would still be room for Dubon to be a platoon guy coming off the bench, giving everybody a day off. Yastrzemski to be one of your DHs. Because at that number, honestly, they could still do something else. Honestly, they could still bring in a cheap deal on Ozuna to face left-handed pitching, but I doubt that's what they're doing. And you could still go after Ha-Seong Kim as your shortstop. That news just broke. It looks like it was 5-6 minutes ago. So that is an interesting turn of events. I want to see. And from what I remember of last year, yeah, he's 35 years old. That's what I thought. I thought he was. When was he born? August. So he'll be 35 on opening day. And he's nothing to write home about, but we'll give you his stats real quick, and then we'll talk about it more tomorrow. Got caught kind of flat-footed, not expecting them to make a deal here at the end of the game. Last year, he was with Kansas City after being picked up from. So last year, his total numbers was a 2.8 WAR, which isn't horrific. It's a solid 17 home runs last year. A batting average of about 235, and his lifetime batting average is 238, so it's right there, par for the course. His OPS last year was just over 700. His lifetime, just under 800, excuse me. His lifetime OPS is 772. So he's a guy, he's a pretty good arm, and he's a guy that can hit the ball hard from the left side of the plate. From what I always remember from him, when he was in San Francisco, he was always being platooned as a guy that didn't face a ton of left-handed pitching. But that would work out if you end up bringing in a Ha-Seong Kim as your shortstop, or if you end up doing anything else. Now, I wonder about that third-year option thing, because he's 35. You're not going to pick up his third-year option. It's very doubtful. He has 123 home runs lifetime. And yeah, we'll look more into that. We could get more news after this unfolds. So a lot of times when Anthopoulos makes a move like that, it's going to be coincided with something else he likes to get out in front of it. So we'll see if he adds either A, another DH bat, or B, is he going to go ahead and try to bring in Kim, and then you would have Dubon to be a true utility guy where you could bring him anywhere. Because you think about it, Dubon is known to be a much better hitter against lefties. So he could be out there platooning back and forth. Or when there's a tough lefty out there on the mound, Yastrzemski gets the seat. Maybe Ozzie goes to the DH role and Dubon plays second. And then when there's a righty on the mound, obviously you put Yastrzemski either in the field and left, which would be more ideal. He's a much better defensive left fielder than Jurickson Profar. Anyways, we'll unpack all that 10 a.m. tomorrow here on Braves Country Radio. Big news, Braves have finally signed somebody off the free agent market. It's not a huge fish, but it could be leading to something else. We'll see you tomorrow, guys. 9 a.m. Armchair Quarterback Radio, the football show. 10 a.m. here on Braves Country Radio, the baseball show. And it'll be a pretty lengthy one on the baseball show. We'll probably go hour and a half, something like we did last week because of all the news that continues. I'm seeing a couple other things that are dropping, not Braves related, but I'll catch y'all up to speed tomorrow. Y'all have a great one.
Goodbye, sweetheart. Well, it's time to go. We're back tomorrow with another show. Well, unless we're fired, we'll talk to you then. Goodbye, sweetheart. Goodbye. Goodbye.
Guys and gals, it's time to go. We'll see you on the next show.
Same bat time, same bat channel.
It's closing time, y'all. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. Have a great one. On your way out, please like and subscribe. And don't forget to tip your favorite bartender. We'll see you. I'm Mac McGee, signing off for Braves Country Radio.